Part 5 of how my husband and I were able to have a 200 plus guest wedding and not spend more than 10 grand for the entire thing. So this time I'm actually going to use this comment to do this part because this is a big reason how we saved so much. And I will say this probably isn't something that everyone can do, but I still want to share it because I feel like a lot of people aren't aware that this is a possibility. For starters, our venue was completely free. So we had our wedding at my husband's grandparents' farm. They mainly had a horse farm, so they had a whole arena, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a really big barn that has like all the dirt so the horses can run around in it. And then it also has all the stalls. And so it was just a big barn-like building that was very open. And then we did our ceremony outside. We had our reception in the arena. So something I want everyone to keep in mind with this is if you don't always think about this or you haven't ever thought about it, if you live on property or you know people who have really great property that would totally let you use it if you asked them and respected it, you could find so many amazing places to have your wedding for completely free. For example, my sister had her wedding at a family friends of ours. We actually go to church with them and they literally have the perfect place for a wedding venue, like if it was actually a wedding venue, but they've never made it a wedding venue because of all the licensing and everything you have to go through, and they just didn't want to do that. So keep in mind, there's a lot of places that aren't wedding venues, but could totally be wedding venues. So long story short, if you know someone, just ask. The worst thing they can do is say no, and I think it's really a good idea to look around for this because the cheapest wedding venues I've seen are like $3 grand, and they don't even offer everything sometimes, and then the wedding venues that do maybe offer all this stuff and have all these amazing things, they're upwards of 20 grand, 30 grand, which is crazy to me because that's more than my entire wedding was combined. And then secondly, our catering. So we did tacos, and my first idea was to actually have everything just pre-made by ourselves. Like we were gonna cook all the beef and just put it in like some crock pots to have it warmed up, and then just have shredded cheese, cut up lettuce, guacamole, or just something like that, onions, just very basic stuff that just needed to be cut up and put in the fridge and then was ready for the next day. And the only thing that really needed to be warm up was the meat and maybe the cheese if I wanted to do a melted queso. I was actually gonna have like a couple family members do this because I do have a large family, but we ended up, my mom does know a guy who caters for just events, and because she knows them and she's worked for them with them, he gave us an amazing deal. So, but if that wasn't the case, we were gonna just do something like that, an easy meal that we could have had all the stuff pre-made ourselves out of the way, and even just freeze it if you needed. Like the meat could have been frozen, all made, and then put into like crock pots to be warmed up for the day, or just heat plates, whatever. That's how we did it. So free venue saved us thousands of dollars. In our catering, we would have just done it ourselves, but the guy that helped us out, we knew him. Connections are a big thing when it comes to the wedding industry too, and because my mom knew him and she had worked with him, helped him out a lot throughout the years, he gave us a screaming deal. But again, we were going to do a really simple meal ourselves, so keep that in mind.